Hi, Sheila.
Hi, new person. Hello.
What type is the new person? Do we know?
This person. I always point where they are relative on my screen.
What? This person? Or that person?
This
Them
person.
or them?
Them? Them?
Or like the Brady Bunch.
This is Rob room. Not me.
Yeah. Well, Suzanne's right here.
No, Suzanne's way over there.
Well, she's right here to me.
No, she's over there.
Bot's sitting next to me.
Yeah, Bot's always next to you.
Are you up in the top left corner?
Yeah.
Spacing on.
So am I. Okay, sure.
I'm gonna order my room the same way that yours is.
What?
We could actually use it if we all ordered our screens the same way. We could like turn to people as we were talking to them, like, "Hey, what's up?" And that person would be above you in the frame, and then they would be like, "Oh, not much." So anyway,
Yeah. That would be
really fun. Is that what the Brady Bunch did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were ahead of the webcam game.
Hey, I'm not even trying to see right now.
We were talking about myths, but
Talking about what?
myths. But it got to the point where we were arguing over definitions, and I don't know.
Knit?
Yeah, myths.
Like, wait, spell that out, because I don't know if I'm hearing you right. Oh, myths. Okay. Well, I don't know anything about those.
Is my computer fan loud?
I can't hear it at all.
God, where did I put it?
I think I like number 3 as a definition.
Yeah, that has to be it for that case.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's about figuring out what you're actually about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You dropped out for a bit.
Do you get a good neck muscle workout with that hat, Eric? Looks frozen. Karma chameleon.
This is the Archer's wife's
Huh?
feminine power.
Okay, I'm more present now. Wait, what time? Yeah, okay, it's 1 minute.
Oh, cool shark. Whoa. Wow. Bang. Oh my god, that's that atom bomb grenade. Look at this. Ooh. No flashbang instead of mushroom cloud.
Chanel?
You can only do one at a time.
Wow. I'm an ENTP now, did you know? Actually, I feel like that's more convincing than you being an INTP.
What is?
Me being an ENTP.
I can't hear you. You're so quiet.
Do I have to speak louder? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I'm like going deaf, I think. So it's okay.
No, I think my mic sucks.
You're more convinced I'd be what?
It's more convincing for me to be an ENTP than you to be an INTP.
How?
You're not an INTP, man!
Because I fucking am. I've typed as INTP several times.
I've typed as ENTP several times. It doesn't mean I'm an ENTP.
Well,
You're the only one that basically FEs with me here. You realize that, right?
I could be an FE subtype. I mean, I have kids, so I have to like
FE
keep up
subtype of
emotional
an
stuff.
INTP? That doesn't even make any sense.
That's not TI.
No. I know an INTP with kids, and they don't really happy. It's not like.
Why aren't you typing as INFJ? What's wrong with it?
I've typed as INFJ plenty of times. I just don't know if I want to be INFJ anymore.
It's not something that you want to be a type.
It's
Hey,
just
I'll be
boring because
I'm gonna
everyone
be-
thinks that INFJs are like some spiritual fucking gurus. There's a lot of pressure to be an INFJ. I'd rather be an INTP.
There's a lot of pressure to be an INTP. Like Einstein.
I'm gonna be an
That is-
ISTJ now. I kind of want my life together, so like that's what I'm gonna pick my type like you. I'm gonna pick an ISTJ. That's what you're doing, right? You're picking a type that you think is easier.
You know what? There's actually an ISTJ on YouTube that has this saying. What?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Sadly.
Like,
Earlier, apparently, I was unhearable or seeable or something, but I actually started a video a while back on the angst of the 25 to 30-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
It's still recording. I think you guys are displaying that angst right now.
Mm-hmm.
A desire to have life manifest in some way other than it does is perfectly reasonable experience because for the intuitive, regardless of the type, there's a sense that there are meanings to be understood. And depending on the type, it can either be prior to...
Another misconception is that we only care about like the traditions and norms of society because they are normal, which I don't think is necessarily true, because when I think that something is
yeah, whatever I was saying there.
You were saying the angst of 25 to 30-year-olds wanting life figured out, meanings.
Especially if you're an intuitive, right? Because you come out of a system that's not designed for intuitives, namely school, and you find yourself in adulthood with expectations from society, expectations you internalize, expectations you develop for yourself, and all sorts of different understandings of what you're supposed to be with no clear definitive purpose. Like Gina was talking earlier about Christianity and the role that it has in her life. And it comes from apparently a Christian background. And so she's been presented that this is the framework through which she should purpose all of her action and her manifestation of the self. She's kind of rejected that framework or found it lacking, inadequate to provide directed purpose for her purposes. And I think that's the situation for a lot of people who are no longer kids. They're over 18 or so, and they're not really full-blast adults. They're under like 35 maybe. I don't know, it depends how quick you mature. Some people mature a lot quicker than others. I mature obviously extremely slowly. I consider myself probably less mature than all of the younger people who come here and talk to me in general. None of you guys is wearing a ridiculous hat.
Oh, we can change that.
So,
Post-it note hat behind
Bob,
Oh no! I just dropped a bunch.
anybody want to talk about existential angst? There we go. Audra, you're winning right now. You're totally winning. I'm going to have to give it to Audra. Audra wins. Oh, that's an excellent effort, Zach. You get honorable mention.
Thank you. I'll take it.
So, has this given our lives purpose enough?
It's important
Is
competition.
this enough purpose for all of our lives?
I'm a man of many hats.
Hats are important.
Come
Talk to
on.
me about purpose. Who understands what their purpose in life is?
No purpose.
My
Like,
purpose is to not have a purpose.
it's not
Can't
good.
wish for more wishes.
Oh, nice.
Oh, all right. Susie? It's a toss-up. I really like Audra's paper. The medium of paper as a hat gives her a pretty special advantage there. But the bunny ears on Susie, now there's a contrast you're not going to see every day.
There's light in them.
I know. You got a halo of bunniness about you. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and make a bold claim here that fun with hats is not enough to purpose your entire life around.
Tell that to a hatter.
Good point. Any other thoughts that might be slightly more informative than that? Come on, it's your existential angst. Make us feel it.
Not be overly concerned or paralyzed with existential angst at any given moment. That sounds like a decent, way to roll.
I just live it out. I externalize it all. It's like, I love the way that INFJs do the existential angst thing. So
Like,
is it angst or angst? I was working with this INFJ at a restaurant last summer, and she was like 29 or 30, and she was like, had just come back from like 8 years in Australia or something. She was like, and for some reason she would talk to me about it because she figured I was like one of the only ones who would sort of get it. She's like, I just don't know, like why my friends sort of have me around, like I'm funny, or they laugh at things I say, but I don't know what I'm doing with my life or anything. Like, people are like having kids or whatever. I don't know what to do. And I was like, I don't know either. So I just do whatever. It was fun. We hung out. We made jokes.
This question of why people like us, I think, is hugely important to ENTPs. I want, yeah. What? Okay. I'll be on. Yeah. The question of why people like us is very important to ENTPs. I find myself asking people that when I feel close enough to them to feel comfortable asking that. Why do you like me? It baffles me, and I think it probably deep down baffles every ENTP. We really want to know that you like us, but we don't understand exactly what that means, and we want you to explain it to us in ways we can understand. Like, we provide concrete benefits to you.
Right,
Okay, well, good. Then I understand why you like me, and I can keep providing those benefits and make sure you still like me.
But what is that placement of FE?
Placement of F5, we just don't understand. We don't get it. Like, I do not get it at all.
Okay.
Like, why is this person here? What did I do? What did I do to make myself worthy of this person coming over and hanging out with me or something?
So funny when I talked to my ESTP best friend from high school about that. Like, he came and visited, and I was like, "Why are we friends?" And he's like, "I don't know. I've been like trying to figure out that same thing. Like, why do we like each other? Like, why do we hang out? What do we offer each other?" And then like neither of us had an answer. He was like, "All right, cool."
Okay. Wait, let me just. I got 2 more multiple. You told me a 15-minute time frame. Give me my 15 minutes. I'll be out here before then. Be out here in 10. I think that's what makes ESTPs and ENTPs tragic. Is, deep down, when you get to more vulnerable spots, and they're not displaying particularly for any purpose, there's a fundamental lack of self-worth.
I think there's some element of belief in it where you're like, well, I have to trust that there's this thing that everyone else is sort of in on, being FI, that I don't know.
What are we talking about?
I've been in with my new table, which is a very exciting table. If you prefer FE physical manifestation, the physical aspect of FE, then you're responsive in real time to people's cues because you value FE more. Yeah. Oh, no, I wasn't actually. Sorry, too bad now. It's too late.
Were you talking about FE with the metaphysical manifestation?
Or in the metaphysical manifestation, it manages people's emotional response to you over time. But that's kind of not really possible because the approximation becomes such a weak predictor of anything that it's a meaningless representation of FI to say that FI is just FE over time, which is when you manifest perception management over time, you have to work with approximations. So you go, well, this is going to be perceived as blah, and it's going to have this impact upon people. And you probably don't really think it all out like that directly, but that's basically the long and short of it. And so what that means is you're seeing people's emotional responses as being non-individuated, really. You're saying, as a general group, people will respond to X as Y. And you may come to understand that there are sub-demographics, that this demographic will respond to X as Y, and this demographic will respond to X as Z. But it's still not about the individual's actual feeling about you per se, as per their own FI. It's like twice removed. It's an approximation of their outward indications of the FI that you use to make it manipulatable within a system rather than just responsive in the moment. Like,
Yeah, but I did
it really doesn't get FE very well in terms of managing social dominance and shit like that, because she's always deferring to not making the wrong FE choice in the moment.
That's disgusting.
Okay, anything else for anybody? Every action matters.
Still have
Says
food.
somebody.
And doesn't.
I'm a quarter of your mouth.
Yeah, well, who said every action matters?
I did.
Every action does matter.
Yeah, I get caught up in that. Like,
Every action matters.
Every action matters.
Go ahead, Janelle.
It also doesn't matter at all.
well, yes, it does.
It doesn't make any
Just
sense.
because you don't remember what happened when you were a baby or 1 year old does not mean it doesn't affect how you are today.
Yeah.
That's a matter of scope.
Okay,
Right, that matters.
yeah,
But then, like,
everything matters, but different things matter a lot more than other things.
Everything's
So-
nope.
What?
Okay. So for example, I may go on the swings every day for 6 months. But the one day that I go on the swings and I get my leg chopped off is a much more significant impact than on each of the other occasions of going on the swings.
It doesn't
And that's the one that's going to be...
the other times you went on the swings didn't matter. It's just she didn't say that every action is equal in how much it matters. Saying that every action does matter in some.
I would say that understanding FE as every action matters is prioritizing FEPH as opposed to FEME, which is you're saying, look, every action impacts the feelings of others, and that's a value in and of itself. And I'm saying every action impacts the feelings of others, and that's relevant to the extent that it manipulates those perceptions into what I want them to be, which is an approximation of things anyway.
I'm just saying about the overall person, about what they're exposed to when they're younger, what they're learning, like every single day. I mean, it matters. Not saying I'm trying to make every day so concentrated with a bunch of stuff. Not saying that I'm even the best at giving them like good exposure to build their knowledge or whatever. But I still think that a lot of what is happening in the present has a significant effect as to how they will be in
Yeah,
the future.
I kind of view people as like this sort of dynamic energy that every action or every sort of influence on that dynamic energy is going to manipulate it in some way. And obviously there's going to be larger impacts on that energy than let's say like going into the swings at one time and nothing happened. But like that energy is constantly being manipulated in some way. And so it's like constantly evolving. And it's not something that's static, but those actions, because it's something that's also dynamic, it's adding to the energy, like it is important because it's moving it somehow.
Okay. Well, the static dynamic thing, my basic argument in terms of how that links in with the cognitive functions is that each cognitive function has a static manifestation or static aspect and a fluid aspect or dynamic aspect. And the difference between individuals can be determined by which one individuals think of as framework and which one of them individuals think of as contention level argumentation. So what you're displaying right now is preferring the real-time manifestation of it as framework. That is to say, abstraction serves your experience versus doing it the other direction around, whether experience serves your abstractions. And so a lot of the differentiation within types, I think, can be explained via this set of subtypes that I'm generating here, which is basically, it's like, it's whether or not you prioritize experiential or abstract for each of the functions you already experience. So I'm like any ME, Taylor's any PH, because he prioritizes the physical aspect of it, I prioritize the metaphysical aspect of it. As far as TI goes, I'm TI ME. I oppose empirics in favor of reasoning, and then TI PH is preferring empirics over reasoning, which is more like ISTP style or ESTP style TI. And then as far as FE goes, I prefer the metaphysical aspect of it, which means I render other people's emotions into static time objects and ignore the dynamism implicit in social relations in order to work with it on a time insensitive level, which allows me to strategize and be more tactful and stuff, right? But which also means it's more approximate and less actual than the experiential level of FE, which involves real-time response to real-time cues, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's much more other-focused in real time than is FE metaphysical form. And then with the SI, as far as I can tell, I value the physical SI and view the metaphysical SI as instrumental. Problem is, so too does Kimberly, which means neither of us is particularly scheduley. And that could be a bit of a problem, but we are getting everything handled. You know, that's the thing I keep reminding myself. It's not as I imagined it to be in terms of like full blast, being on task, handling shit. But I realize that's why it's proper. That's why it's right. We get shit done and we're balanced in it anyway. We still play a lot. And she likes to play a lot too, you know. That's important. Anyway, so I go NEME, TIME, FEME, SIPH. And that's a different type than like Taylor, who's going to be NEPH, TIPH, FEME, and then SIME, I think. I'm not sure about the SI part, but I think so. And I think that those things probably link to one another in certain ways, such that if you're ME on one, you have to be PH on another in a similar fashion to the cognitive functions. But I haven't worked all that shit out yet. But I suspect that when I do work it all out, that these subtypes will hopefully explain things better than any existing taxonomy. We'll find out. You'll be able to buy the PDF. That's why I'm writing this book anyways. I have a PDF to sell. And that'll be an exciting day for us all. Who knows when that's going to happen? It could be a long time. But I keep pecking away at it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. And meow, meow, meow.
Yeah,
I didn't realize he was making a video.
that was a long
Yeah,
video
it was.
about different things.
Do I have me muted, or is the volume for the disorder?
That's what we should
Oh,
title
you're
it, a
not
long
muted.
video about different things.
Yeah.
Nobody
No one
would
was
watch
paying
it.
attention.
Is the
20
volume
minutes of gold bricks.
obnoxious? Is it not in? Are people muted? Me?
No, we hear you.
Is it good, bad, whatever?
We don't hear much.
It's
So
fine.
a lot of stuff, including hats.
She, do you think or wait, what's your status with religion? Are you currently religious? You were raised religious?
For who? Just in general?
Yeah.
Agnostic.
Same.
Does anyone think they're going to be religious later in life?
Well, I think old people turn to it for a reason. So who knows?
And I'm having a good conversation on the Facebook Messenger there. Is he in there? No, he's not in there.
What?
That's an interesting point that's made.
I want to know is how he has all those pins on his hat and they're not like poking his forehead. Like that has to be uncomfortable.
They're built into the hat. They're not pins.
Oh, okay,
The hat came like this.
okay.
It looks glam.
Yeah. That's a post-it hat? Is that what that is?
I don't know. It's just a
Did you
hat
just
that we
make
saw at the
that?
head shop.
Or did you have it
and I
hanging
bought
up?
it for.
I had it behind me. I made it the other day. I don't know. Somebody
Oh.
said something, and I was possessed to make a post-it notes hat, so I did.
Like any style, you were like, I see these post-its, and now I'm seeing what I could do with these.
We were talking about. I don't even remember what the conversation was. It
I
involved
think it was
post-it
something
notes.
about like having a crown to take over the world. I think or something like that.
Yeah, something about taking over the world in post-it notes. So,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna make a hair crown.
so it led to a post-it note hat.
Did a live stream of Eric's cats.
That looks gross. I made a scarf. It's handy. A scarf from your hair, like what, like this? I am French now. Oui, oui. Oh, I'm smoking my cigarette. Eating my umbrella. My French fry. That's as French as I get. I'm about to go transgender. I think I've accepted that as a way of life now.
You went from you're INTP transgender now.
Yeah. You guys just call me Jimmy.
You could take a ponytail holder, and then you'd like do a ponytail in front as a mustache, and you can split it, and then you can run around with it all day.
Do what?
I said you take a ponytail holder and you just like more or less make a ponytail under your nose. Works pretty good,
Okay. So like
and you can run around all day.
this? Like that?
Yes, like that.
Why would you do that?
Well, and then you do that, and then you pull it down to your chin, and then you have a beard.
Oh.
Or maybe it's not on your nose. I don't know. I didn't do it. I didn't have long hair. My sister and my cousin, we were in England, and they ran around for like half a day like that. They thought it was pretty funny. Like, we have beards.
Not too tear. I don't really care about tearing my hair. Got a lot of it.
And also, you have your own scarf. Okay? Your excuse. You're like, why is your hair tied around your face and a beard? You're like, if you're worried about it, just like, it's just a hair scarf.
It's like all the rage now. It's a new thing. Everyone in Hollywood's doing it.
Like, you got a hair hat, a hair scarf, you know.
Yeah.
Not to tear her. My sister used to like tie her hair into knots unintentionally.
Oh, excuse me.
I was impressively framed.
Who? Anyone seen the Rick and Morty where Rick goes back to high school? It's Tiny Rick, fuck yeah.
Hey, Rick.
Tiny Rick, fuck yeah. That's how I imagine teenager. That's how I imagine every teenage ENTP who is an 8. Set this down. Movie recommendations? Anyone? Gentlemen? Gentlemen?
Movie recommendations. That's a pretty broad statement.
Yeah, intentionally so.
I think what I've watched lately.
What's Unify?
What kind of movies do you like normally?
I think Charlie Kaufman is a good place to start. So, like, being John Malkovich, Eternal Sunshine of Spotless Mind, Synecdoche, New York. Those are all him. Those types of movies, probably the most central to what I like.
I've seen those. I don't remember. I don't know that I've knew the names of them. I lose track. So do you like kind of really? How would you describe that sort of movie?
A little surreal. That's, I don't know. Maybe sort of dramedy-ish,
Right. Okay.
but like more intellectual.
I don't know that I have a lot of recommendations in that area. I like.
What about in your area?
I don't know. I mean, there's tons of movies. Do you want like new movies or old movies or?
Just whatever comes to mind. If like,
There's about a bazillion things, Zach. This is.
we'll just start saying some of them, and I'll say yes or no. You can narrow.
Okay.
You can't narrow it
I was
down.
thinking. Here's one I was thinking about the other day. I was recommending Taylor. Have you seen Drive?
I haven't, but I've been meaning to for a really long time.
I like that movie.
Okay.
It's because it's really it's like an action crime thriller, but the the writing and the pacing it's really it's very surreal. Like you said, surreal, and that one actually came up.
Hmm.
It's very interesting because there's almost no dialogue,
Oh, fuck
unlike
yeah.
the main character. Like
I always I want to see it, and then I look at like the trailer or something. It looks like another action movie, and then I don't watch it. But everyone has recommended it to me.
it is an action movie, but it is also a
But it's not
snooty
just another
film.
action
It's
movie.
also a film. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, Nicholas Winding Refn in general, I actually like.
But
Most
what
of
is
his
it called?
stuff. Nicholas Winding Refn, the director. He did Drive, and he did another movie with Ryan Gosling. I didn't like as well, but it was okay. And then I think he was the one behind The Mentalist.
Doesn't look like it.
Or he was behind something. I don't remember.
Maybe he was behind the person that was behind The Mentalist.
Maybe he had something somewhere. I don't remember.
What else? I watched Rubber recently. I really enjoyed that. Rubber in Reality. What else has that guy done? Quentin Dupieux. He seems pretty anti-PE to me. If you watch interviews with him.
Who?
The guy who made Rubber.
I guess I've seen that one. Is it a
It's
movie?
about a tire that goes around the desert killing people.
Oh, that's funny.
If you haven't seen it, I highly, highly recommend it. And it's only like an hour, 25 minutes, so it's short.
What else?
Thumbsuckers.
Like pretty much anything. I like pretty much all of Quentin Tarantino's stuff, so I just can
Yeah.
recommend those.
Yeah.
Do you like that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Do you like Guy Ritchie?
Right.
Yeah, some of his like British crime caper craziness.
I thought Snatch was pretty good. I think that's the only one I've seen.
Like Snatch, whatever, what's it called? I can't remember. The one he did with Jason Statham, I actually really liked. I think he did it was called Revolver.
Yeah.
Because it was so not the movie that you were expecting to see. Rock and Rolla, I like that one. The Man from U.N.C.L.E., that was actually a really good movie.
Nice.
It was kind of, I don't know, it was a very satisfying kind of classic action.
He did Toronto too. That's in theaters right now. I could go watch that. I kind of want to go see a movie.
I didn't know he did that. That makes me want to see it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snatch, Revolver, Rock
It
and
seems to
Roller.
have very bad reviews, whatever that means.
Man from U.N.C.L.E. Reviews. I think it's more important who says what about it rather than just what people in general say about things.
Right, but if something gets like 42% on Metacritic, it's like, well,
Then it may not be like, yeah.
But
Awesome
then again,
movies.
one of my favorite movies, I don't remember what it is. Hot Rod. There it is. 43% on Metacritic, whereas I think it's one of the best comedies ever. So I take it back. I take it all back.
Some of my favorite movies are, not really. I don't know, it's one of those things, you only gotta like a movie for like one sort of thing.
Yeah. And the reasons I like movies are not the reasons most
Varied.
people.
I find that I like movies for so many different reasons. You're like, oh, yeah. But as long as it gets one of the reasons good. Because there's really silly movies that I like to watch a lot. The Van Helsing movie. Like, it's nothing special, but for some reason it's very watchable. The Fifth Element, that's one of those like really watchable movies for some reason. And the old The Shadow movie that they did in like the early 90s or something. For some reason I like that movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of weird stuff. They're like, not the best movies ever.
Fun to watch.
Oh, the Max Payne movie. That was not a great movie. For some reason, it's fun to watch sometimes. What do you think? Oh, I know what I watched the other day. That was an interesting movie. It was a well done movie. I watched The Founder, about the guy that runs McDonald's Corporation. That was interesting. I'm sure that a lot of it was probably
The Founder.
manipulated. Yeah, and so the actual facts I take with a grain of
Oh
salt.
yeah, I
But
wanted
as a
to see
movie,
it.
it was a really good movie. Like
I wanted to see that. Nick Offerman, that's funny.
Oh. Web design is fun for a few minutes and then it gets tiring. But I'm almost there with this one.